Get ready for the biggest updates as the sports world keeps spinning at lightning speed. We've got the inside scoop on major events, shocking upsets, and personal journeys you won't want to miss. First up, a look at a star player navigating controversy and aiming for redemption on the grandest stage. Then, we dive deeper into the aftermath of a surprising final, hearing directly from the athlete about a moment that sparked headlines. Next, we explore the emotional toll of competition and personal life, as an athlete opens up about overcoming immense challenges. And finally, we uncover a candid discussion about the struggles faced after a major life event. Stay locked in for all the details, and make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. A resurgence underway. Naomi Osaka is once again poised to be a significant contender, showcasing a return to form that has captivated the tennis world. Her performance at the recent Canadian Open signals a powerful comeback for the four-time Grand Slam champion, who has not demonstrated such a strong string of victories in a single event for quite some time. The familiar sharpness in her movement and the brutal effectiveness of her ground strokes were on full display, reminding fans of the dominant player they have come to admire. It was only the formidable challenge presented by the rapidly emerging talent, Victoria Mboko, that halted Osaka's impressive run in the Canadian Open final. Mboko, an 18-year-old wildcard, achieved a remarkable victory, defeating a series of established Grand Slam champions including Sofia Kenin, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and Osaka herself on her way to the title. This historic win made Mboko the second youngest woman in WTA history to achieve such a feat, a milestone previously held by Serena Williams. However, the narrative surrounding the final took a significant turn due to Osaka's post-match conduct. In a brief speech lasting only about 20 seconds, Osaka failed to offer congratulations to the young Canadian champion. This oversight quickly drew widespread criticism from the tennis community and became a major talking point. Speaking at the U.S. Open Media Day, Osaka addressed the incident, expressing a mix of emotions. She acknowledged feeling both a sense of success for achieving her goal of being seeded at the U.S. Open due to her final appearance and a profound sense of shame for her actions. She revealed that her primary goal for the tournament was indeed to secure a seed, a goal she achieved. However, the regret stemmed from not being able to celebrate the moment properly with her team, who had supported her throughout her journey back to a high level of play. Osaka shared that she had apologized to Mboko on social media the day after the match and had also spoken to her personally. She expressed concern that her actions might have negatively impacted Mboko's monumental success, but was relieved to hear from the teenager that she hadn't really noticed the omission and was gracious in her response. This kindness, Osaka admitted, only amplified her own feelings of remorse. Reflecting on the experience, Osaka noted that she was trying to move through the ceremonies quickly, and in doing so, sometimes forgot important details. She even considered writing her speech beforehand for future finals, recognizing her own tendencies with public speaking and the anxiety it can cause. This incident served as a lesson to trust her instincts more and to be better prepared, particularly to remember to congratulate her opponents. Despite the controversy, Osaka is entering the U.S. Open with renewed confidence, aiming to leverage her recent performance and her past successes in New York, where she is a two-time champion, 2018, 2020. Her ability to reach the final and secure a seed position highlights her return to a competitive level, offering a significant edge as she begins her campaign. But what was it like for Osaka to relive that moment? We delve into her personal feelings immediately after the speech. Next, we hear more directly from Osaka about the controversial moment in Montreal. Addressing the controversy. The 2025 U.S. Open marks a significant return for Naomi Osaka and Victoria Mboko to the same tournament circuit following their memorable encounter at the National Bank Open in Montreal. The final match saw Mboko, an 18-year-old wildcard, achieve a stunning upset victory over the former world number one, Osaka. However, the post-match ceremony became the focal point of discussion when Osaka, in a brief speech, did not acknowledge Mboko's historic win, leading to immediate criticism from the tennis community. Both Osaka and Mboko subsequently withdrew from the Cincinnati Open. This meant that Osaka's appearance at the U.S. Open Media Day was her first opportunity to address the incident directly with the press, having opted out of media availability immediately following the final and instead issuing a statement later. Unsurprisingly, the first question directed at Osaka concerned her post-match speech in Montreal. David Law from the tennis podcast posed a direct question. How did you process the next few days? And I just want to know how you felt when you came off the court and sort of settled down back into trying to think about what had happened there. Osaka responded with careful consideration, aiming to articulate her feelings without causing further misinterpretation. Honestly, I'm trying to word it so I don't get caught up, she began. But I don't really know what was written, to be honest. I just got messages from people telling me what's potentially being written. She clarified her understanding of the question, asking, so to this day, I honestly couldn't know what you're referring to, but I know I didn't, you're talking about the congratulations part. Upon confirmation, Osaka elaborated on her remorse. Yeah, so for that I made sure to talk to her, because I know she's young and I don't know, I feel really terrible if that, somehow impacted her humongous success, but she said it didn't laughs and she didn't even really notice, so I was really glad about that. She added that Mboko's sweet demeanor only intensified her own feelings of guilt. And I was also just really glad that she's such a sweet girl, which also just made me feel terrible even more. Osaka reflected on her hurried approach to the post-match proceedings. But yeah, I don't know. I feel for me, I was just trying to get through it so quickly that I forget a lot of things, she explained. She even admitted to considering writing her speech in advance for future finals, acknowledging her struggles with public speaking and the anxiety it induces. So that was, kind of a lesson to, stick to my instinct a little. But yeah, I will definitely remember to congratulate my opponents. Osaka, currently ranked world number 25 on the WTA Tour with a 27-12 singles record and one title this year, is seeded 23rd for the U.S. Open. She is scheduled to face Greet Minnen in the first round on Monday, August 25th. The U.S. Open singles tournament is set to run from August 24th to September 7th. Fans can expect continued coverage of the tournament and related news from the Roger Report. While the focus has been on a recent on-court moment, Osaka also opened up about a deeply personal battle she faced away from the spotlight. Next, we delve into Naomi Osaka's candid discussion about her postpartum struggles. A mix of triumph and reflection. Naomi Osaka is heading into the U.S. Open with a renewed sense of purpose and a palpable return to form, showcased vividly at the recent Canadian Open. It has been a considerable period since the four-time Grand Slam champion last achieved such a consistent run of victories within a single event, making her resurgence a refreshing sight for fans and commentators alike. Her performance throughout the tournament was marked by sharp, decisive movement and ground strokes that carried their signature power and precision, reaffirming her status as a top-tier player. The only competitor to halt her momentum was the exceptionally talented Victoria Mboko, an 18-year-old wildcard who completed a fairy-tale run to the Canadian Open title. Mboko's path to victory was extraordinary, as she defeated a remarkable lineup of Grand Slam champions, including Sofia Kenin, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and ultimately, Osaka herself. Tragically, the narrative of the final was overshadowed by Osaka's post-match speech, where her failure to congratulate Mboko on her maiden championship sparked significant controversy and widespread discussion across the tennis world. During her media appearance at the U.S. Open, Osaka addressed the controversial final, demonstrating her characteristic openness and honesty. When questioned about the media's reaction to her speech, she stated, "Honestly, I'm trying to word it so I don't get caught up, but I don't really know what was written, to be honest. I just got messages from people telling me what's potentially being written." She sought clarification, asking, so to this day, I honestly couldn't know what you're referring to, but I know I didn't, you're talking about the congratulations part. Upon confirmation, Osaka expressed deep regret. Yeah, so for that I made sure to talk to her because I know she's young and I don't know, I'd feel really terrible if that, somehow impacted her humongous success. But she said it didn't, and she didn't even really notice, so I was really glad about that. And I was also just really glad that she's such a sweet girl, which also just made me feel terrible even more. She further reflected on her state of mind during the event. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like, for me, I was just trying to get through it so quickly that I forget a lot of things, and even going into the final, I wanted to, potentially write my speech because I know how I am talking and doing speeches. So that was, kind of a lesson to, stick to my instinct a little. But yeah, I will definitely remember to congratulate my opponents. When asked if there were any positives to take from the week, Osaka responded with a nuanced view. I would say yes and no, she stated. Yes, because obviously, my biggest goal was to be seeded in a tournament, and that's something that kind of I knew immediately. And then no, because I just felt really bad and shame. And I think I felt worse for my team because we couldn't really celebrate properly. And they were with me this entire time, so they knew how big of a deal the final was, just knowing that I can go back to I don't want to say that level, but just know that I can be there. Clarifying the source of her shame, Osaka added, if I did very greatly offend Victoria. That part. As the US Open approaches, Osaka, a two-time champion in New York, 2018, 2020, is seen as a genuine contender. Her pedigree and the confidence derived from her recent performance could provide a significant advantage as she aims to replicate her past success. While her on-court performance is a major storyline, Osaka also shared a deeply personal struggle that impacted her life profoundly. Next, we hear from Naomi Osaka about her experiences with postpartum depression. A mother's struggle and strength. Naomi Osaka, the renowned tennis star and four-time Grand Slam champion, has bravely opened up about her challenging journey with postpartum depression following the birth of her daughter, Shai, in 2023. In a candid preview for her upcoming documentary, Naomi Osaka, The Second Set, Osaka shared the profound emotional and mental toll the experience took on her. Osaka, whose daughter's father is rapper Cordy, revealed the intensity of her postpartum struggles. Honestly, I also had extremely bad postpartum depression, and I didn't know how to deal with it that well, she stated. She recalled receiving information about postpartum depression prior to giving birth, believing her awareness would shield her from its effects. But truthfully, I had thought that since I was so aware of it, I could somehow avoid the symptoms altogether. Despite her desire for her daughter to view her birth as nothing less than a gift, Osaka described feeling disconnected from herself during those initial months. In no world would I ever want my daughter to think that her birth is nothing less than the biggest gift I have ever received. But during those early months, I felt like a shell of myself at all moments of the day. I no longer knew who I was anymore. It felt like everyone else had moved on and they were living in color. Meanwhile, my world was stuck in gray. Currently the 23rd seed at the US Open, Osaka is set to face Greet Minnen in her opening match. Her history at the tournament is notable, having won the title in 2018 and 2020. She also secured victories at the Australian Open in 2019 and 2021. Osaka, who held the world #1 ranking for 25 weeks starting in January 2021, has faced challenges in replicating her past successes since returning to the court after Shai's birth. Her emotional state has been evident, as seen when she shed tears after her first-round exit at the French Open in May. At the time, she expressed feeling like she had let down her coach, Patrick Muratoglu, who previously coached Serena Williams. As time goes on, I feel like I should be doing better, Osaka had said. I hate disappointing people. Muratoglu goes from working with, the greatest player ever to, what the FK is this? You know what I mean. This instance echoes a previous period in 2021 when Osaka withdrew from the French Open, citing huge waves of anxiety. Her decision to refrain from speaking to the media at that tournament resulted in a $15,000 fine and a threat of disqualification from the event. Following her withdrawal, she disclosed that she had been battling depression. In a social media post at the time, Osaka shared the depth of her struggles. The truth is that I have suffered long bouts of depression since the US Open in 2018, and I have had a really hard time coping with that. I am not a natural public speaker and get huge waves of anxiety before I speak to the world's media. I get really nervous and find it stressful to always try to engage and give you the best answers I can. Osaka's candidness about her postpartum depression and past mental health challenges highlights the immense pressure athletes face and the importance of open dialogue surrounding mental well-being. From on-court triumphs to personal battles, we've covered a lot of ground today. Stay tuned for our quick recap and all the ways you can stay connected with the Roger Report. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. We saw Naomi Osaka find her form and address a post-match controversy in Montreal, detail her feelings about the incident, and bravely share her experiences with postpartum depression. Don't miss any of our updates, like this video, subscribe to the Roger Report, ring that notification bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all social media platforms.